Well, finished up practice 12. It's our last fully padded practice before the weekend. We'll go shells on Thursday, and it will be helmets on Friday. Kids, really pleased with our scrimmage on Saturday after looking at the film. Lot to learn from, but a lot of good things on film also, and it's just a lot of refreshing things to see. The pursuit of the defense. I feel like our speed defensively. I think our skill positions on offense. I think we've got a lot more explosive ability than maybe we've had in the past. Thought the offensive line had a good day Saturday, that first group, and so that's encouraging to see. So just so many positives coming out of the weekend, and a solid day today, and want to finish up spring practice the rest of this week strong, and then get ready for the off season.
Coach, can you speak to the health of the offensive line? I know they were banged up a little bit at the beginning of spring practice.
We have some long-term guys that are still out, but they are trending positively towards coming back. The rest of them are back. We had a few bumps and bruises. We had some COVID stuff, but we've got the bulk of the group back.
There's an imposing group. They look larger and stronger and
Yeah.
improved and confident.
I just we were talking about it Saturday. We finally look like an AAC team. From a size standpoint on the fronts. I still think got to improve some, but we're getting there. And the offensive line probably is a little bit farther along than the defensive line just because they're a little bit older. But really like that group that's practicing right now.
While we're on that topic, Henderson, do you expect him back in the fall, or is that still to be determined?
I hope he's getting better. He and I talk just about every day, and he's feeling better. His prognosis from the medical doctors has been in a positive direction in the last month, but it's still something that we don't know for sure. But it looks like there's a chance.
That you said Saturday, it's interesting in your spot to judge how to evaluate
Yeah.
offense or defense. What about the coordinators? Like they're focusing on their side. How did they react to Saturday? And maybe you got any feedback from the coordinators?
Well, the deal off the 1 yard line, Donnie's been pissed off about that all weekend. So, it depends on what part you're talking about. I mean, there's so many positives for both sides. I think both are encouraged by a lot of things they saw. They also, they feel like, oh, we played that like crap, or because they're really hard critically on themselves and on the performance of the units. But there's just so much good. I mean, you look at Keaton's first run. I mean, the cut that he made. I mean, it was just incredible. I mean, you're like, wow. And then the touchdown run at the end that you guys saw. So you get really excited about that stuff. You get excited about like the pursuit of the defense. Snead, they ran a reverse with Snead, and we stopped it. He reversed field, and it's just like a swarm. And it's just great to see, number one, that kind of speed defensively, and number two, that kind of effort defensively. So I just think there's so many positives that both coordinators feel like they have right now, but also, they're pretty critical of themselves and some of the things we didn't do well.
You've had some stoppages in camps and with this camp, but it's the effect of it has been to elongate the camp. It's
Yeah.
starting to feel like a normal camp a little bit now, spring practice.
I think we got to get away from the stoppages. I just think that is one thing that will hold us back from reaching what we can be this year. The kids feel it because it really we're gonna end with a very positive spring, but I think it's nowhere near what it could have been if we hadn't had a 2 week layoff and basically start over again. It's just and the kids realize it too. We got a bunch of the corners back today, but they're not in very good shape. They're rusty. And so, during that whole time, everybody else is getting better and they're getting worse. And, it's a competitive bunch, so that means something to them. So I think that they will be motivated to make sure we don't have any more pauses, and we have to be.
You mentioned Donnie earlier. During the scrimmage, he was down on the field. Last season, he moved up to the box. Is he moving back down to the field this season?
He'll most likely be up top. I mean, it's just really it comes down to where what's needed and what's most comfortable. We haven't discussed him coming down to the field permanently. He was up in the box for most of the scrimmage Saturday, but I like having the coordinators up there because they can see. As long as we can function well on the sideline, I think that's more advantageous. I thought Keaton Mitchell. I think Taji Hudson's getting better. Shane Calhoun had a really, really good day. I thought Holton, outside of maybe just one or two plays, had a very solid day. I think that first unit offensive line overall had a solid day. Defensively, Jairo Wilson, Jawan Powell played really, really well. I thought DJ Ford had a really strong day. I think that's and Miles Berry. I think Miles, that's one. Big John and I were talking when he was coming on the field today. That kid. I'm so proud of him. He just, when I got here, I didn't know if he'd ever develop, and now I look at him as he's one of our leaders. He's become a significant playmaker on special teams, on the defense. You're going to see him play at several different positions defensively this fall. He's just become such a valuable player and such a great leader and such a positive impact in our locker room. I thought he had a great scrimmage Saturday, but I think that's just, one piece of, just a really solid end of the season last year and really a great offseason he's had. So.
If there's a big element that you want to kind of finish off before this spring practice is over with, what's the big thing that's kind of nagging you, if anything?
Well, I think just sharpen everything up. Clean everything up. We would like to have a highly competitive day on Saturday. Stay healthy. That's probably the most important one. And just, finish off with a lot of positive momentum, similar to the way we finished the season.
Coach, is there a conversation behind the scenes about the open invitation?
Yeah.
Saturday?
So they'll put out a little release a little later on, kind of explaining how that's going to go. And I'd say it's our final practice is this Saturday. The kids, we're not having the whole pigskin, pig out, and uniform sale, all that stuff that you normally have around the spring game. We're going to have a scrimmage in the stadium. I'm excited about this program. I'm excited about these kids. I know a lot of our fan base is also, so we'll have it open to the public. If you're a Pirate, you're welcome to be there. If you're from another clan, then you're not welcome to be there. So, we'll have with some instructions on parking and what sections will be open and all that stuff. The athletic department will put out a release about that.
As far as the roster, are you going to draft or the players decide or the coaches? How are you going to make up Saturday? How that works?
We're going to have a draft on Friday before practice. The kids, I think they're more excited about that than they are anything else. They wanted to do it, and this is one year that we have enough depth on our roster right now that you can have a legitimate, 2 offenses, 2 defenses, and some depth. So we got a couple of GMs we've named out there from some of our injured guys that'll serve as kind of the captains of the 2 teams, and they'll get together and draft the team on Friday, and then we'll have a practice on Friday with those groups, and that'll be the 2 groups of a scrimmage on Saturday. So it'll be a traditional scoring system.
So as we wrap this thing up a little bit, what's your sense of how much better this team can possibly be this fall? All wins and losses aside. How much
Well,
improvement is-
we're going to be bigger, faster, stronger, and older. That's always a good combination. I think we've significantly improved over the last 2 years the fronts. We've significantly improved the skill. We've got a veteran quarterback. We have quality skill at the stand-up positions on offense. I think we run really well on defense. So we got a shot. I think we'll be improved, and I think we got a shot to have a solid season.
You mentioned Shane at the tight end. It just seems like he's been kind of consistent from day one this spring. You start from
Yeah.
day one and now putting together good practices.
Well, he got here last year, and he looked like what he was. He was a high school kid and got thrown into the fire. Handled it probably better than I expected him to. But then he's worked really hard this offseason with his body. He's bigger and stronger. He's more explosive. And just, like Saturday, he had 3 really, solid catches and yardage after the catch. And, he's becoming a solid all-around tight end because he's also a good inline blocker. He's a good, move him around H-back kind of guy. Very mature, very smart. Just really is developing into a really solid player. So, and that room is developing. We got some additions from last year already here. We have some more additions coming, and I really like what that room is going to look like for the fall.
Coach, you talk about development. It seems like the people in this program are developing not just as players but as men. There's a quality of individual that
Right.
this program can produce, and they have this name attached to it.
That's kind of that's kind of the most important thing, to be honest. I mean, I know everybody on the outside may judge us by wins and losses, and that's rightfully so. But it's always been about developing kids, making sure we graduate men that our institution can be proud of, that our program will be proud of, and we talked about it today. We were talking about this a year ago this week. The Last Dance premiered. And there's a clip of Jordan, and he's talking about the culture in Chicago during the championship runs and how it was when he got there and just everything it took and all. So we were talking about it today, and we finished up practice talking about it. Just, our culture inside our locker room is to the point now where the kids are holding each other accountable. And that means not just with how they play on the field or how they train, but also how they conduct themselves off the field. Not to say that they're perfect and not to say there aren't going to be kids that make mistakes, but, they're so much more enjoyable because we don't. I mean, my first year, it was every other day there was something on my desk from somebody doing something stupid or something getting in trouble on campus or downtown or something like that, and it was really miserable. I'll just tell you, and they were a difficult bunch to even spend time with. But the kids have done a great job of cleaning that up in there, and I love the kids that we have in our program right now. They are just awesome to be around every single day. They're fun to be around the facility, in the weight room. They're fun to sit and talk to. I mean, I really like the character of our roster right now.
Alex Flynn seems like a guy you mentioned a few times. He's kind of getting back in the mix here. Is he somebody who's made big strides this spring?
He has, and the thing is he's consistent, and he's a smart player. He's going to do a great job of kind of leading the offense. He doesn't lose his head out there. He's throwing the ball better. He runs well enough to make plays with his feet. But he always seems to get us in the right position in the right place, and he's making more and more plays. So it's certainly he has shown his value this spring, and he's in the middle of that quarterback competition.
You have a large group of quarterbacks in there, all pretty doggone good. And how do you keep them all involved and give them a sense of continuity, their time may come or that sort of thing? What do you tell them?
I try to be very honest with them. We got 5. 4 of them are young. Walter is a high school senior. They all respect and understand Holton is the starter. They're all competing and trying to get better every single day. And they will dictate the depth chart. But all of them have ability. But I think in today's college game, you'd better have a deep quarterback room. And I was talking to a kid outside who just knew a player that I had from way back. That was our third team quarterback. He ended up being the starter of the second half of the season and led us to a championship. But it just, you've got to have depth in that room, because if you don't have a quarterback, you're in trouble. Okay, thanks a lot.
We got a lot in today.